my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm going to actually share with you 3 things that cost me thousands, if not tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars while collecting comics. These 3 things can make or break your comic collecting experience. So sad sometimes when you think about the big mistakes that you make. And these 3 are definitely big ones for me. The first one is FOMO. And I've lost thousands of dollars because of FOMO, where I will, get excited about a book. I think I'm going to miss out on it, especially if you're a golden age collector where you don't see these books that often. It is really a common mistake that you just get caught up with excitement. You don't know, you're not really sure that you'll ever see this book again. So you're like, okay, I gotta bid high or I'm never going to get this book. Just go and you go a little bit crazy. You spend an extra 100, 200, 300. It keeps on going up. Maybe $1,000 more than what you should have. And that can happen very easily. I mean, literally, I did a top 10 video where somebody overspent by $1 million because they didn't think that the book would come up again, and the next time that it sold for $1 million less. So it can happen where people they get excited, they think that this is the only chance that they'll have to get a book, and they overpay. Now, patience is a virtue. It will actually save you thousands of dollars, and as I said, $1 million in this case. The $1 million example is Superman 1, where somebody literally paid $1 million more than the last sale for the book. So yeah, just those kind of mistakes can really, really hurt. So when you experience this feeling of FOMO, maybe sometimes, count to 10 or do something where you think, okay, will I see this book again? And if you're a modern collector, you'll see it again. I even think of some big books from the Silver Age. You'll see them again. Like a good example is AF-15, where it's Amazing Fantasy 15, where that book you'll see pretty much on a weekly basis. There'll be a copy available. So sometimes you can sort of hold, if you have a sort of price in your mind and don't budge from that price, because a lot of the time, you think, oh, it's just going to keep on going up and I'm never going to get it at the price that I want it. You got to be realistic, of course, but often if you have a sort of price in your mind, you can achieve that. Lately, what I've been doing, and I haven't been buying as much as a result, but I've been buying better deals, has been when I buy things from Heritage, I will set my price. I'll actually put in a bid at the very last minute, and then I walk away. I walk away. I don't watch the auction. Just put my bid. Usually, I try to be about 20%, maybe even 30% below fair market value. So what happens is, if I get the book, I get it for a great price. If I don't get the book, then that's fine too. I'll get it the next time it comes around. And that is a really hard thing to do sometimes, to have that kind of attitude that I'll get it the next time. FOMO is brutal, and it will cost you a fortune if you succumb to it. And admittedly, I've succumbed to it way too many times. I have so many books where I can't even look at them because I know that I overspent way too much on them. And, I could have gotten them for cheaper and at a higher grade, which really, really bothers me. We only have a certain amount of money, and when you when you overspend, that means that you can't buy that other book that you might like. So something to be aware of. The next thing, so FOMO is that's the first one on the list. The second one is kind of the opposite. So that's when you're buying, but the opposite would be when you're selling, knowing when to sell and actually be willing to sell. During COVID, I actually predicted the market was going to crash, and I actually predicted it and did a video. So it's not only that I predicted and just sort of had it in my mind and, everybody knew it was going to crash, right? Well, I actually predicted that it would crash and when it would crash. So I actually was pretty accurate about when it was going to crash. And had I listened to my advice at the time, which was to sell your comics because the market's going to crash and crash hard. I knew it was going to crash hard. I thought, it would go down maybe 50%, but which is a pretty hard crash. It's gone down 75%. So, if I had taken my big books and just sold all my big books, all my Silver Age, Bronze Age, all that kind of books that I thought that I was sort of speculating had kind of gone up crazily during COVID, and just sold them all, I could have bought them all back and had a huge amount of cash still. And, that would have been that would have been tens of thousands of dollars, maybe $100,000 of cash that I could have had to buy cool comics. But I didn't. I didn't sell when I knew I should sell. So this is kind of like the opposite of FOMO, where you sometimes hold on to things beyond when they should be held on to. Sometimes it's really hard to let go. And maybe it's the opposite of FOMO in that respect, that it's that fear of losing something and not being able to replace it. So that can really be a killer. It's hard to separate emotion from collecting. It's like it's not all about money as many people might think. There is an emotional attachment. You do like the books. I really love my comics, so it's hard for me to give them up. I really don't want to sell them, but sometimes you need to sell, because if you do sell, you'll actually have that opportunity to get the book again. You'll see the book again, just like as I said in the first point. The books will come around again. They'll be there. But find the best opportunity to sell. Right now is the worst time to sell. This is a good time to buy, right? So you got to find the right times, and sometimes you can see those patterns. I think early 90s, like when things were going kind of crazy. When you feel like the market is going kind of crazy, that's maybe a good time to sell. If people are kind of over, like you can see that people are overpaying, that's a good time to sell, because they're going to overpay for your books. And be the kind of long-term investor that you think, hey, okay, this is a good time to sell. I'll pick the books up on the downswing, and then when they go up again, I'll do the same again. Rinse and repeat. It's like buying stocks. Buy low, sell high, and you'll have a bigger and bigger portfolio. So ultimately, the goal is to get all the comics. It's sort of like Pokemon, get them all. But the point is, you got to be able to sometimes sell the comics when the opportunity is there. And that's a hard thing to do. This has cost me, literally, as I said, maybe $100,000. I don't know. Some of the books, like I look at the prices that they had gone up to, and it was like 10 times what I paid. I could have made a fortune. I could have made a fortune, but I didn't sell. And I do regret it, because I really could have bought better books as a result, like with all that extra money. So definitely something that you don't want to make this mistake. I'll probably make the mistake again. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I don't seem to learn from my own advice, but don't make my mistake. The third thing that really can cause people to lose out, and this is big, this is really big, is not doing research. It is so common mistake. And this last one is insane, how much money you can lose by not doing some research. I've seen people literally overpay by like how much was it? Like 100 times more than what it should have been. There was a case where, and I actually made the same mistake, where I looked at the book quickly. I didn't do the quick, I got excited by the price. I thought, oh my goodness, that price, it must be this book. It wasn't that book. It was example was, it was Fantastic Four, or actually was it Fantastic Four #1, the Golden Record edition? And somebody basically looked at the book quickly, and I guess it wasn't just one person, it must have been multiple people that looked at it, didn't realize it was a golden record reprint, and then ended up, oh, it was the Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man #1, that's what it was. And they overpaid for the golden record reprint as if it was actually Amazing Spider-Man #1. So they basically, they overpaid by, it was like, I think it was like 10 or 100 times more than what it was actually worth. Just a crazy, crazy mistake that they made. Um, big sale, record sale for that golden record reprint. But even beyond that, that's like just not taking that time to just go through the listing, make sure that you're buying what you think you're buying. That's one level of research. But sometimes even like doing the basic research of checking what the last sales were, checking like how often the book sells. This can kind of influence the other two things where you can say, well, this book hasn't sold for a long time or has sold fairly often. Therefore, maybe I don't have to be so FOMO about it because if it sells often, you can pick it up again pretty easily. So those are research will tell you that part of it, but also research will tell you what people have been paying for it. And if you see a price that just doesn't make any sense, like if it's way out of line with what the book had been selling for before, walk away. You can walk away. You don't have to buy it. Sometimes, and that's where the FOMO part comes in. So this third part is just really doing the research. Check what the books sell for. And also, not just what it's selling for, look at other options. I've seen it where people on Heritage will pay some crazy price for a book. And the same book, in a higher grade even, is on eBay, for a buy it now for half the price. It's like not even close. So I've actually picked up a few books that way where I was like, oh, this went crazy on Heritage. I'm still interested in the book. I'd like to buy it. Is it available somewhere else? And I do a couple searches. Like I check my comic shop, I check eBay, I check maybe a couple other auction sites. And if it's available there, well, I'll buy it there. Why do I have to pay the crazy price that, is presented to me? So the point is like this thing, and I've seen this mistake a lot, where people will buy books at an inflated price, or they'll get all excited in an auction and bid way above what other books of the same nature or the same book are selling for elsewhere. So do some research, look at the Go Collect, look at the GPA, do all that analysis to know, hey, this is how much the book should be going for, and then look elsewhere to see if you can maybe even pick it up for that price or even better than that price. So this can save you thousands of dollars. And a lot of people don't do this. I don't know why. They get caught up in the moment, and they don't take a couple seconds to just quickly, you can do this quickly. You just go to some auction site, go to eBay, do a quick search and find the book at that other price, at a different price. It can actually hurt you the other way too, where sometimes the price is actually really, really good on auction, and you can, you search and do the actual analysis, and then you see, hey, this book is selling right now at a price that's half what it should be selling for. There's other books that are available on eBay. There's other books available in other stores that are 2-3 times more than what it's selling for right now. There was a book, and I was like, I was kicking myself because I put an alarm to try to get it, alert, and it dinged. I just stepped out for a minute, and it came back, and I missed it. I missed the auction. And what it was 4-color 74, which is the first photo cover. Kind of a cool book. I think it's also the first appearance of some like Roy Rogers or somebody like that. It's just a cool book. Just has like a lot of cool elements to it. And it sold for like $100, and it was like a 7.0. It was like really high grade. And then it sold for like $100 because nobody bid on it. Normally that book sells for $300-ish, maybe $400 range. I could have picked it up for a steal. It's like so frustrating to miss out on something like that. Where, again, people didn't do the research, people didn't put in the bids, and there's steals, there's opportunities where having that research, having that knowledge can really help you get the book for a better price. That really plays true in the wild when you're going out and you're searching through long boxes. And I know there's so many times where I've gone through a long box and I've seen some really amazing books, and I'm like, there's something special. And I didn't buy it, whatever reason. And then I kick myself later for not buying that book, because it turns out it's like in a dollar bin, but yet it's worth thousands of dollars, literally thousands of dollars, where you can resell it pretty easily at that higher price. That does happen. So having that research, having that knowledge can literally either save you thousands of dollars or make you thousands of dollars. So that is definitely one that is really, really important. Doing the research, having that knowledge will definitely save you big money and make you big money. So if you take all three of these together, I'm trying to show you ways that you can do better with your collection and build a better collection, save yourself lots of money. And I hope this helps. I appreciate everyone for watching this video, and thanks again. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you really like my content, check out the link in the description for the CBCA Awards, where you can vote for this channel in 3 categories for the Monday special, for best unboxing, and for best spec, which is my Sunday shows and my Monday shows, where I look at the hottest Golden Age comics and the hottest Silver Age comics. So take a look at those videos, and also vote for me, please, on the CBCA Awards. The link is in the description. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.